welcome. Please know that if you have any questions throughout any of this presentation, just ask. Very informal, but want to be able to get the information out to you. So we'll get started right away. First, I think it's very important that we are able to understand what an operational recurring referendum is. So an operational referendum does give voters that local control to invest in their school district. And it gives the school district the permission to exceed the revenue limit that is state imposed, limit to fund our operations annually. Recurring referendum, this means that the funds will be ongoing, added to the district's base, and they carry over forward. So this is a longer term fix, but it's not always a permanent fix. So after the 3 years of the referendum dollars, that $650,000 will be added to the base moving forward. So just a little background on our planning and our timeline. When this started, so about a year ago, a little over a year ago, our school board had a retreat with our school finance reps, Baird, and they presented information on finance and referendum. From there, we talked a little bit about it, but then a lot more discussion came throughout the summer, and on August 21st, we talked about the possibility of an operational referendum, things to consider at our regular board meeting in August. After that, at our September board meeting, Morgan and I presented the finance presentation, referendum or not. Are we to that point? Do we need to look at that? And moving forward, what does that look like? October 30th, at our regular school board meeting, we invited our school finance rep from Baird again to present information on referendum and what it looks like for Edgar. On November 12th, we had a special meeting with a Baird representative here in Edgar just to look at potential refinancing options. That came up as a question, and we wanted to look at it as, is refinancing an option, and what would that potentially look like? November 20th, at our regular board meeting, we presented 2 scenarios that would help offset our projected deficits while trying to keep that mill rate and tax impact flat at a minimal increase. And then moving forward, December 4th was our board meeting where the school board approved the resolution to ask the community to vote to exceed the revenue limit at the vote on February 18th. So again, we've been thinking about this, talking about this, just looking through our school finance for a while. Conversations and the topic started to become more of a reality about a year ago. We, Edgar, are not alone in this issue. It is a statewide issue out of the 420 districts. Since January 1st of 2010, as of April 2nd, 2019, approximately 82% of our Wisconsin school districts have gone to referendum for a total of 973 debt or revenue limit override questions. 2019 year to date, so 60 total questions on the referendum ballot for the year, 27 for non-recurring revenue limit increases, and 85% of them passed. There were 7 questions for recurring, and 86% passed, and 26 questions for new debt authority, in which 62% passed. So just some information that, again, we here in Edgar are not alone. This is a statewide issue. It's also important to look at why does the District of Edgar need the additional funds. So as you may know, the state formulas, specifically the revenue limit formula, determines approximately 74% of Edgar's available revenues. As enrollment decreases, so does our revenue limit authority. And what we're seeing here at the district, which many of you personally may be seeing too, is the expenses have not decreased at the same rate as the operations of the building or personally operations of your household. Just different areas, again, continue to increase, but our budget continues to decrease. Much of that you'll see in future slides is due to our decreasing enrollment. So as I said, what affects our budget? The fluctuations in our revenues and enrollment really, again, is one of the driving forces to that. And what we did is we looked at some data from years ago. In approximately 10 years, from 2009 to 2019, you'll see we lost approximately 97 students in 10 years. And you'll also notice, I just want to point out the last 3 years there with the asterisks are projected enrollments. So on average, approximately 9 to 10 students a year, again, on average, that the district has lost. When we talk about fluctuations in expenses, the cost to operate, again, what I just said, continues to annually increase with the utility costs, transportation costs, staffing costs, curriculum and supply costs, our maintenance and facility costs, technology, safety and security, and any unfunded state or federal mandates. So looking forward to what will the referendum fund? Really looking at wanting to be able to maintain and or increase our programming and services for our students. Here in Edgar, we, as I'm sure many school districts, our students are our number one priority, and we want to be able to continue the programs that we have. Also looking at retaining high quality staff members so they're able to provide those programs for our students and meeting the various needs of our students here in Edgar. And then, of course, we want to maintain the bricks and mortars of our building. If we don't have our facilities here in working conditions, we're not able to do the teaching part of it. But just, we are looking at our air quality in our tech ed rooms. We did an air quality audit right before the holidays. We have a continually roofing projects annually, so we have a rotation of projects with our roofing of maintaining them, replacing flooring and ceiling as needed, and possibly looking at updating the west wing of the high school, as that is our most, our neediest area of the building, our oldest area of the building. So you may ask, what has the district done here in Edgar to help balance the budget in the last 7 years? So we have had several reductions, and we've had some areas that we've increased as well. For reductions, we've reduced 1.0 FTE tech ed teacher. We've reduced 1 full-time business ed teacher. We've reduced 3 full-time elementary teachers, a part-time art teacher, part-time position in our bookkeeping office. We've decreased our classroom budgets across the district. We no longer have co-op students working in our library media center. We've dropped reimbursement to teachers for taking credits. We have had to defer maintenance projects. And we've also had a reduction in our summer school pay. But like I said, we did have areas that we felt were high needs in the district where we had to add. So we did add a 1 full-time guidance counselor / assessment coordinator. We have a 1 full-time title and AGR teacher in the elementary, and a few co-curricular positions, assistant coaches, and also adding that middle school baseball and softball, as that area was the only area in our co-curricular that did not have offerings in the middle school. So what are we asking for? The referendum details. So again, this is a 3-year operational referendum to exceed the revenue limit on a recurring basis. The first year, $150,000. The second and third year, $250,000 for a total of $650,000. Again, recurring, which means it's continuously added to our maximum revenue limits. So how does this, or what is the mill rate, and how does it impact the taxes? Looking at the estimated property tax impact over the total 3 years, if we look at the assessed property value, which is important that we have to, again, look at that assessed property value, for $100,000 property value, it will be approximately, and just remember this is projected, but approximately $41 total for the 3 years of additional taxes. And the chart then shows $150,000 assessed property value, approximately $61.50 more, again, over the total 3 years. And a property value assessed at $200,000, approximately $82 over the 3 years. One thing I do want to note on this slide, that the estimates are based on a 1% yearly property growth. So we try to be very cautious, I guess, conservative with that number. So if that changes, our numbers will fluctuate as well. And just a reminder, what is the mill rate? The mill rate is the tax rate per $1,000 of property. So again, as continuing looking at that projected tax impact, as we looked forward and were planning for this referendum, we really worked hard to make sure that this mill rate remained relatively flat and not to exceed $11. And you will see in the chart on this screen, there is approximately 9 to 10 years here of mill rate history, and the projected are the last 3 on the bar graph. So what happens if the referendum fails? As we work through planning for the referendum, we use assistance from our school finance reps through Baird, and we have a forecasting model. So on the left of the screen, the forecasting model projected out our deficits for the years 2020 through 2023. So without a referendum, the projected deficit for next school year is approximately $92,000. The school year after, school year 21-22, the deficit is approximately $258,000. And then the third year projected number for school year of 22-23 is approximately $496,000 deficit. So the district will always continue to look for ways to potentially save, to slow that effect. Look to reduce or cut programs and or services for our students. Potentially look at larger class sizes. Looking at reducing, again, the district budgets. Reducing or possibly cutting staff, and which then would possibly lower the ability to attract and retain high-quality teachers. Possibly look at eliminating or reducing athletic or co-curricular programs, increasing student fees, eliminating or postponing any curricular updates, and then potentially looking at eliminating or postponing maintenance projects. Again, these are all ways that we could potentially save money. Not that we would want to do that, but as always, we need to look at both sides.
Carrie?
Yes.
Is that list in any kind of priority?
It is not.
Okay.
Good question. So as you decide, as the referendum's coming closer, definitely points to consider. The community is and always has a voice, and hopefully will vote. We ask that you please know the facts and ask questions and vote accordingly. As many of you know, Edgar is a very small community, and the district is one of the larger hubs of the community. A lot of the community uses this building during weekends and after schools and mornings. So it is a very busy place, which is good. We like that. Just to remember, it's our kids, our school, our community, and we are hoping to continue that Edgar excellence, continuing our pride and tradition. So please mark your calendars and vote February 18th. All regular polling places will be open.